And it's based on an interview show that was done here ages ago for celebrities. And at the end of the show, it's called Inside the Actor's Studio. And at the end of the show, the host would always ask the guests the same questions. I was inspired by those questions, and I made them pet specific though. So I'm interested to hear what you have to say. Ready to go?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. What is your favorite breed?
Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, I've got a Whippet. I really love Whippets. I like Jack Russells. I like Black Labradors, and I like Wolfhounds. So I don't want to limit myself to one breed.
You like active breeds, it sounds like.
Yeah, the Wolfhounds are really not that active.
No?
No, they're big, quiet, pretty calm most of the time. They spend a lot of time curled up on the couch. So you need a very large couch if you have a Wolfhound.
How about your least favorite breed?
Shar-Pei.
Really? Interesting. That's a unique one. It's not super common in the US. Why do you say Shar-Pei?
Because they're often diabolically awful to have to work with in terms of aggression. And the other reason that they're awful is how humans have exaggerated the wrinkles and made them so they need surgery to survive. And I'd probably add in the whole brachycephalic. And my least favorite thing is the really, really flat-faced dogs, because that causes so much suffering for those dogs breeding them like that. It's not funny.
It's true. You're right. You're right on. I don't think people understand just how unnatural all of that is and how much breeding plays a part in the way that they look these days.
Yeah.
Do your pets sleep in your bed?
They used to. They don't anymore, except if there's a thunderstorm, and then Pearl does.
Oh, I love the name Pearl, by the way. I think I might have a dog in the future named Pearl. Who or what wakes you up in the morning?
My alarm clock wakes me up every morning.
Every morning. What is your most used training command or cue with your pets?
That's an interesting one. So whistling is probably one of them. And then the main way I communicate with my pets is through body language. Posture, direction, intensity of gaze. And I talk a whole lot about that in the bodywork training as well, because when you learn how to talk like that with your animals, they understand you a lot better.
That is fascinating. That's very cool. What is your least used training command or cue?
I have no idea.
Is there one that you avoid at all costs, like a stay or a sit?
I avoid anything that is aversive, that is dominating, that is related to fear and pain. And I grew up where I got taught how to treat animals in that way on the ranch where I grew up. It was all about fear and pain. That's just how you broke in horses. You broke them in. You broke their spirit with fear and pain. And if dogs didn't work, you took them out the back and shot them. And, people would give their dogs hideous beatings and stuff like that. So I really want to avoid anything like that.
This is so true. It's people don't realize that that's where our aversives really come from. Those practices back in the day.
Check chains, prong collars, goddamn electric shock collars, those things. Totally unnecessary. They don't give they actually give worse outcomes. There's plenty of evidence to support that. And if you get a trainer who wants to use any of those things on your dog, you need to run a country mile and find someone who uses positive reinforcement.
I don't know if this is the case in Australia, but here in the United States, especially in the South where I currently live, it's really hard to find a fear-free trainer. It's really hard to find a positive-based trainer. And the vast majority are still using choke, prong, and shock collars.
Yep. And you know what? In the South where you live, the culture where you live, that doesn't surprise me.
Exactly.
And you just have to keep looking. There's also a lot of resources online, So if you can't find a trainer nearby, then go online and find one and see if you can do some Zoom sessions with them, because you can learn a hell of a lot with a trainer on Zoom. You don't have to have them come to be in person with your dog if you want to find someone.
It's so true. Consistency is really the most important thing. And now, thanks to COVID, we've all had to adapt to doing things online. So if somebody's
Yeah.
truly motivated, they really can do the right thing by their pet with somebody, even in Australia. All right. The next question: what pet related noise do you love?
Purring cats.
It's the best. I mean, is that therapeutic? Do you find, because of your energy healing experience, do you find purring to be an energy healer?
I do believe that there is a special quality in the sound of purring. I certainly know that cats' bones heal about twice as fast as any other animals. Whether or not that's related to purring, I don't know. I mean, we don't even know how cats purr. For all of our knowledge about the anatomy and everything like that, we still don't know how they make that noise.
That is fascinating. That's really cool to think about, that they may be healing themselves when they purr. There might be a mechanism there. That's so cool. What pet related noise do you hate?
Barking dogs.
Is that why
You
you
have
didn't
one.
mention schnauzers as your favorite dogs?
Oh, look, I think it can be any dog. I mean, we've got a dog next door that's got severe separation anxiety, and the owner sometimes will go out for the night and leave the dog there, and the dog's just absolutely hideously terrified and barking its head off all night. And it drives me crazy, and I feel bad for the dog at the same time.
I bet, because you're empathetic to the dog completely based on what you do. So that must be really extra hard for you. Do your neighbors know what you do for a living?
Oh, yeah.
Are they clients or are they not clients?
Yeah, you
That's
can't, you can't. Neighbors can be strange. Humans can be strange.
It's true. We always stand in our own way. That's something that we can't help sometimes. All right. What pet related profession, other than your current profession, would you think is fun to try one day?
Tracking, doing that sort of thing with animals, tracking and rescue animals. And I did a lot of stuff with horses, competing on horses when I was younger, and I wouldn't mind getting back to that one day too.
That's so cool. And what pet related profession, other than obviously what you do, would you never want to try?
Grooming.
That's a popular answer to that question.
I bet it is.
All right, last one. If the Rainbow Bridge exists, who is the first pet to greet you when you arrive?
Ticker.
What's that?
Ticker was a staffy, a staffy that I had when I was really unwell with chronic fatigue. Tally was Ticker's mum, who was my dog, but then I left her with my mum for 2 weeks, and when I came back, she'd jumped ship. She thought my mum was way better at spoiling her than I ever was, and she'd left me. But Tally had puppies, and one was Ticker, a little white staffy with a brindle patch on one eye and one ear. And she was such a bright, intelligent dog, but she applied all of her intelligence to getting what she wanted. She couldn't give a damn about humans, really. She was the naughtiest dog I've ever had, ran off all the time chasing things, wouldn't come back. And I don't think I've ever been loved as fiercely by any being as I was by that dog.
Oh, I love that. That is wonderful. And you seem to be a somewhat spiritual person. Do you believe the Rainbow Bridge exists?
Oh, God, yeah. Part of what I do with my work, when I put animals to sleep, I have the ability to actually make sure that they transition properly. Sometimes I have to energetically untangle them from the humans so that they can actually go properly. So I've done a whole lot of stuff on terms of that sort of what you might call psychic or intuitive stuff over the years.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Well, thank you so much. I'm always interested to hear what pet professionals, especially a veterinarian, has to say about the Rainbow Bridge, because we always think of our veterinarians as stoic and they do this every day and it just becomes easy, but that's not always the case.
Look, any euthanasia is always challenging, and there's a great beauty in compassionately helping an animal pass over to, I find. But it's always emotionally wrenching and difficult. Doesn't matter what it is.
Even for the veterinarian, even after countless euthanasias.
Yeah, it's always intense and challenging for me in terms of I'm very empathic, so I can feel what's happening in terms of what the other people are feeling in my body. But I've come to the point where I'm okay with that. I'm okay with emotional discomfort in my body. It's just like the weather, you know. Sometimes a storm rolls through and then it's sunny again. It's not a big problem. I think a lot of vets seem to be stoic because they've suppressed all that, and it's too much for them. And you know, veterinarians have possibly the highest suicide rate of any profession on the planet. They're poorly paid. They work incredibly long hours. They get abused a lot by clients. It's not an easy job.
It's absolutely not. One of the popular answers to the what job would you not want to do is veterinarian. I haven't heard holistic veterinarian yet, but I have heard from a lot of pet professionals who are somehow related to the pet care industry who recognize that veterinarians have a very difficult job and that it's almost not worth doing because of all the negatives that come with it. And I'm sure there are plenty of positives, but seeing sick pets day after day has got to wear on someone who loves animals.
Yeah, yes and no. It is tough because you can't save them all and things don't always go well, but I wouldn't change anything in terms of my choice of profession. It's also, even though it's challenging, it's immensely rewarding. And I really love working with animals. So
yeah,
there you have it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Edward. I've so enjoyed talking to you. I wish you all the best. And I'm going to make sure that I share the info of your classes, your trainings with all of my peers, because like I said, I think it's a great addition to pretty much any pet care business.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.